So thank you. As we return, we'll do our public hearings. First one is item number 3, public hearing ZM-02-20, dispatch station proffer amendment request, ordinance 0-14-20, and Ms. LeDuc and the applicant will present.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to give an overview of the proffer amendment application before us this evening. FW Associates, LLC, and John Sherm, manager of Dispatch Station Development, LLC, have requested to amend the proffer statement associated with the dispatch station property rezoning. The applicants request that current proffer number 7 be amended to state there shall be no more than 50 building permits issued per year. The current proffer allows for 25 building permits per year. The rezoning for dispatch station was approved on July 8, 1996 as zoning map amendment C-8-95. The approval letter and minutes from the Board of Supervisors meeting where the proffers were finalized and approved are included in your packet. The dispatch station subdivision is located in the northwest portion of New Kent County in an area designated suburban housing in the comprehensive plan. It is bordered by several other R1 zoned subdivisions and the Norfolk Southern Railroad line to the south. A little bit about the project history. The Planning Commission considered this rezoning application in March of 1996 and voted to send an unfavorable recommendation to the board. The minutes from that meeting are included in your packet and discuss concerns about the impact of the project on the environmental features, public services, and the capital needs of the county. The Board of Supervisors ultimately approved the rezoning with proffers limiting annual building permits to 25, a maximum of 150 lots in the development, and cash proffers. The complete list of proffers can be found in your staff memo. The project essentially lied dormant until late 2005 when the Planning Commission approved the preliminary subdivision plan. Another 14 years would pass before the first section was recorded and construction started. Section 1 includes 58 lots, and Section 2, which is currently under review, contains 64 lots. Regarding public utilities, the development will connect to and use the county's water supply facilities. Mr. Dame had no concerns with the proffer amendment. Regarding impacts on the Sheriff's Office, staff received a comment from Chief Deputy Bailey that raises concerns about impacts to their office from development, and pointed out that their office is not included in the cash proffer distribution. Regarding impacts on the school system, the application states that there will be a minimal impact based on the demographic profile of the home buyers from Phase 1. Staff has no way of verifying this, but also will point out that there is a proffer allocation of $2,000 per unit that goes to the school system. Regarding impacts on transportation, the existing proffer statement allocates $750 per lot for off-side road improvements to Dispatch Road. Improvements were made a few years ago around the area of the railroad crossing to help with safety and sight distance. While reviewing the minutes from when this rezoning was considered by the Planning Commission and the board, concern was expressed about the impact on public services and the capital needs of the county. This is why the applicant at the time proffered a maximum of 150 lots in the development and set a cap of 25 building permits to be issued per year. Doubling the number of allowable building permits per year to 50 will speed up the growth in the area and have potentially negative impacts on the local transportation system and other county services. The capital needs of the county have only increased over the years, as New Kent has remained the second fastest growing county in Virginia since at least 2010. Keeping the cap at 25 building permits per year instead of doubling it to 50 will allow the county to better absorb and plan for the impacts of the residential growth on county services. Given the proffer that sets the maximum amount of building lots at 150 at a rate of 25 per year, the development could have been built out within 6 years, and the case has been, approved since 1996. It is staff's recommendation that the proffer amendment be sent to the Board of Supervisors with an unfavorable recommendation and that the existing proffer number 7 remain as is. The Planning Commission considered this application at their meeting on September 21st and voted unanimously to forward an unfavorable recommendation to the board due to the negative effects the proffer amendment would have on the local transportation system and other county services. The applicant also has a presentation they would like to give to the board. Oh, there it is. Same trick with mine.
Good evening. My name is Rob Benesha. I'm here from Hirschler on behalf of the applicant. This is I'm just going to adjust this really quickly. This is actually a pretty simple case. As was mentioned, this case was originally approved in 1996 and it provided for 150 lots with an annual limit of 25 building permits. And that contemplated a full build-out by 2002. $3,000 per unit cash proffers were imposed, of which $2,000 goes to schools, $750 per unit would go to dispatch road improvements, and $250 per unit would go to fire and rescue capital improvements. 18 years after the projected build-out is where we are now. Only 122 total lots out of that 150 are planned at full build-out. Of those, 35 lots have already been constructed and sold. 11 are currently under construction. And there are 76 remaining lots currently contemplated, 12 left in Section 1 and 64 in Section 2. There have been 25 building permits issued so far this year. The staff report cited no specific infrastructure that would be overburdened by development. In fact, at the Planning Commission meeting, it was noted by Mr. Hathaway that traffic warrants were not tripped. The dispatch road improvements that were contemplated in the original case have already been completed. And so far, the developer has contributed $138,000 worth of cash proffers to the county coffers, of which $92,000 have gone to schools and $34,500 have gone to dispatch road improvements. The remainder, obviously, to fire and rescue. Our request is simply to increase this annual limit from 25 to 50. These cash proffers would remain in place. We're not seeking any changes in those. This would effectively reduce the remaining build-out period from 3 years to 18 months. We're talking about an 18-month difference in the pace of development. We just want to be treated the same as other developments which have cumulative limits. Similar developments that have building permit limitations say that if they have, let's say, 80 and they only pull 60 building permits in a given year, they can use those 20 in the next year and potentially pull 100. That would essentially be what we're seeking to do here, but actually we're seeking to do less. We're not looking to do, if we were looking to do cumulative, we would be asking to pull all 75 at once, and we're not. We just want to be able to do 50 in a year, so that way we can have an 18-month build-out period. This would contribute an additional $228,000 of cash proffers within that 18 months, of which $152,000 would go to the schools and $57,000 could go to additional dispatch road improvements. There was a lot of talk at the Planning Commission meeting as to whether or not it was desirable to put a signal in at the corner of Dispatch Road. And I mean, that $57,000 could easily be used for those improvements. It would result in an increase in the tax base of over $27 million and an annual tax revenue increase of over $215,000. We're looking to contribute those funds to the county on an accelerated basis and only a modestly accelerated basis of only 18 months. In terms of impact on schools, if that's a concern, these are our projections based on what we've seen out of the existing development and where we see it going. So we're only talking about an increase in 18 months of approximately 9 school-aged children. If you all have any other questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Are there any? I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
Dispatch Road, was that through the proffers or was that through our 6-year, through our secondary road?
Dispatch Road, there were some improvements done several years ago through our secondary six-year road funding.
And so profit money was used toward that or no?
No profit money was used towards that project. It was all secondary six-year road funding.
Okay. Mr. Lockwood?
I'm just wondering, would you guys be interested instead of going to 50 and take it to 38 and do it in 2 years? I mean, split the difference? I know that's not what's before the board, but we're talking then again a difference of 6 months from your projection and less than a year off the current rate.
I think we could certainly discuss that. I'm not sure if we're prepared to answer that right now at this second, but we can certainly take that if we can take a break.
Any other questions or discussion? Thank you.
I have one. So it's 76 more houses to be built,
That's right.
and only 9 school-aged children. Where'd you pull that information from?
So based on the pattern of purchases that we've seen so far, we're finding that a lot of the product is going either to pre-family or post-family with very few school-age children coming into the neighborhood.
But you're going to be selling a different product in this 64 lot.
It was the same product. It's just been lately, we've found that the market is appealing to a lot of retired folks.
So are they not already school age, or are they just inference and not old enough to go to school?
If I may.
So based off of who we sold to in the first section, we did have a lot of couples who are young and do not have any children yet. We also have a lot of couples or people that are retired whose children are already grown.
Okay.
So we base that estimate off of the people who are currently have school-age children already in the schools, of which a lot of them were already in New Kent County schools before moving to dispatch station.
Thank you.
I don't think it's a fair statement to say that you want to be treated like everybody else. You're all the ones that negotiated these proffers. Somebody, probably not you, but somebody back in 1996 to say that you want to be treated like everybody else. You know, I mean, you can't treat everybody. You all or whoever agreed to these proffers back then. So, I see these. I mean, all these developments come back. I've been on here 16 years now. They come back and ask. They tell you what they're going to do, like those projection numbers. I mean, you can make numbers look however they want, but for you to say that you want to be treated like everybody else, I mean, everybody kind of works their own deal, so I don't think that's a fair statement.
If there are no more comments, thank you so much. We will open a public hearing. Thank you. Okay. Please forgive me if I do not pronounce your name right, but we have Bryant Prancer. All right. Parker, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. You have 3 minutes to speak, sir. We ask that you give your name and address.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chair, Supervisors, I'm Brian Parker. I'm recently relocated here from California. I'm staying at my sister's home. They've lived here for 16 years. 6935 North Hairpin Drive, Quinton, Virginia. Matter of fact, my sister's a poll worker this year. I've just become a salesperson for Sherm Homes, and I wanted to share with you the people who have been purchasing homes and are anxiously awaiting new homes in the community that we're speaking of. I've got a young couple that are relocating here from Staunton. He's in Virginia Trooper School right now. He's going to be a Virginia State Trooper. He's required to live in New Kent County. And they came very anxiously to purchase a home. So they're waiting for a home from us. We've got a family she's a school teacher, and he's with Henrico Parks and Rec, and they're renting their home. These are people that couldn't afford homes where I used to live in Los Angeles. that they can afford homes here, but they're just anxious to become a part of the community here. I've got another young man. He's single. He works at the concrete factory out in Sandston. He's waiting for his new home. I've got another family. She's a school teacher, and he's in IT, and they're waiting for their new home. These are not fancy people coming in from other parts of the country. These are people like you and I, people who drive pickup trucks, people who vote, people who work. They are anxious to be a part of this community. And I think we should give them the opportunity to be a part of the community and participate and pay taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Chris Lowry. Yes, sir. State your name and your address. You have 3 minutes, sir.
My name is Chris Lowry, and we currently are in an apartment in Mechanicsville. We signed a contract with Sherm Homes to build a home there. Unfortunately, we were number 26. My family is here with me. We are the ones that have raised our children. We lived in Chesterfield. We decided to come out here and live, and I'm not retired yet, but hopefully soon. We moved out here because of the environment. We found the nice homes that Sherm Homes are building. My son has a disability, and they are very more than eager to help us accommodate him and help us to build the home that will accommodate him as far as the lifts, the transitions, and all that. So we currently are in an apartment because we sold our house within a day out in Chesterfield, and we had to move into an apartment. So we moved into an apartment in Mechanicsville so we could be on this side of town. And unfortunately, it's costing me about an extra $700 a month. So every month that this is delayed, it's costing me a lot of money. So if you guys would please consider, accelerating this, it would be a big help to me and my family. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. No one else signed up, so we will close our public hearing period. At this time.
I apologize, Madam Chair. I did receive a public comment by email that I'd like to add to the public record, if
Yes,
I may.
Sir.
This comment was received from Thad Kip Harris, who resides at 8531 Warrior Head Road in Quinton, Virginia. New Kent County Board of Supervisors, it has come to my attention that the applicant for the proffer number 7 is trying to increase the amount of homes being built in Dispatch Station 2. This is the name we have been given. Would increase from 25 homes per year to 50. The fact that 25 homes in a year's time on this underserviced area would be at best a stretch when county services, fire, EMS, and the sheriff's office. Our roads are not wide enough. The biggest concern is the roadways that come in and out of this area. The plan that I've seen shows 2 main entrances and exit roads for this neighborhood will be off Warrior Road and Black Creek Road. Looking at a subdivision that will hold 50 to 60 new homes that will have on the low end of 100 to 150 new cars at a realistic number of 200 new cars on these county roads per day. This is, sorry, I'm reading it as written. This number does not include school buses. Now, if you try and even factor in the heavy equipment that will be traveling down the already overrun roads on Dispatch and Route 249 and think that 50 houses in a year is a plan, you are out of touch. Let's not lose focus on the safety of our residents. Thank you.
Okay, if you would give that to Ms. Watkins for our record, our minutes. Any other questions, comments?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Tiller?
And I think what you read in that email, Mr. Hathaway, about the trips, don't they generally figure 10 trips per house per day?
That's correct.
So we're talking 500 more
Yes.
in one section. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Evelyn?
Yes, ma'am. So 76 houses left to build, is that correct? Or lots? You're number 26? Say he's number 26, correct? Why don't we amend the ordinance to do 26 for 2020 and then keep 25 for the rest of 2021 and 2022? Because they have 76, so they got an extra lot anyway. I know that's not what they want, but I don't want to set precedents. I don't, because we would be setting precedents for any other development that comes in here if we amend that ordinance to 50 lots per year. So that's just a suggestion I have.
If I may, so you're suggesting we do one additional permit for 2020 and then keep it at 25 for the remainder for 3 years?
Would be two. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Just
Okay, the chair will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Steers?
I like what Mr. Evelyn had to say, but you heard the developer or builder said they had several others. So instead of adding one, I would propose that we add 5 to make it 30 for this year and then go back to 25.
Mr. Evelyn?
I can't support that because there's only one extra lot there with 76.
No more comments, the chair will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Evelyn?
I move to amend ordinance O-14-20 to allow 26 building permits in the year 2020, 25 in 2021, 25 in 2022, an additional 25 in 2023.
Ms. Watkins, will you poll the members, please?
Mr. Evelyn?
Aye.
Mr. Tiller? Aye. Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Mr. Lockwood?
Aye.
Ms. Page?
Aye. Thank you. Moving on to item number 4, on the public hearings. Fiscal year 2020, 2021 budget amendment, resolution R-40-20. Mr. Hathaway.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. What you have before you is a resolution to amend this current fiscal year budget by state code. Any amendment over 1% requires that a public hearing be conducted. What you'll also find in this amendment is what's being requested is carryover of funds from the previous fiscal year, which are mainly capital projects and grants, capital projects that are still ongoing. So therefore, those funds need to be carried over from the previous fiscal year to this fiscal year, and grants that we're receiving that overlap various fiscal years as well. That's the majority of the funding that makes up the $11,495,798.90. In your packet, I believe it's the second attachment, there is a detailed breakdown that lists every single line item that is being requested to be carried over. And as you'll see there, majority are grants and CIPs, purchase orders. Again, most of those are CIPs too of projects, that are overlapping the fiscal year.
Are there any questions of Mr. Hathaway in the discussion? All right. Thank you, Mr. Hathaway. We will now open public hearing. Thank you, ma'am, for your service. No one signed up for the public hearing, so now we will close the public hearing. Comments from the board? If not, the chair will entertain a motion. Mr. Steers?
Madam Chair, I move to adopt Resolution R-40-20, amending the fiscal year 2021 budget by approving supplementary carry forward appropriations in the amount of $11,495,798.90.
Thank you, Mr. Steers. Ms. Watkins, will you poll the members, please?
Mr. Tiller?
Aye.
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Mr. Lockwood?
Aye.
Mr. Evelyn?
Aye.
And Ms. Page?
Aye. All right, I'll go to my agenda. I think we've covered everything. Adjournment. All right, it's been moved that we adjourn. Our next meeting schedule, our next regular scheduled meeting, the Board of Supervisors will be held at 6 p.m. on Thursday, November the 12th, 2020, and next work session will be at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, October the 27th, 2020. Both will be held in the boardroom of the County Administration Building. And so with that being said, one other quick note I forgot is that we will have a virtual broadband town hall meeting on November the 10th at 6 o'clock. More information will be coming to you, but mark your calendars for November the 10th at 6 o'clock, a virtual town hall meeting. Ms. Watkins, will you poll the members, please?
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Mr. Lockwood? Aye. Mr. Evelyn?
Aye.
Mr. Tiller?
Aye.
And Ms. Page?
Aye. Thank you, and be safe.